Josh Dugan wanting
Rita,
to take...
get out, close the door.
Can you try not? We can edit that.
I know how to edit that.
Yeah, it should be.
You had Josh Dugan taking the early guilty plea just so that he wouldn't miss Origin.
Mm.
I mean, he should have fought that charge. It wasn't a shoulder charge.
Yep.
He gets suspended.
Yep.
He takes the early guilty plea, misses a club game because he wants to play Origin.
Yeah, there's a lot of permutations and a lot of impact. I guess for me, I think the solution is the Craig Bellamy solution. If the fear is that you open up the path for AFL or rugby union, well then I say so be it. You've got better quality rather than quantity.
Yeah.
If you want to introduce sub competitions, whether it's a combined, New Zealand or whether you integrate Pacific Islands or under 20s, people will go to those games, and I don't think there's any reason not to actually give them a little bit more airplay.
The Samoa versus Tongan game this year. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
Well,
they talked about a Super Sixes or Sevens, nines as a pre-season. Maybe they can integrate something like that, or look, I'd be happy to watch a touch footy competition between the players if that's what brings the
I think they really need to go back to the drawing board and have a look, because I feel like this season, as much as I love Origin, has just been set up for Origin.
Yeah.
And the season starts on Thursday for the remainder of the clubs who are in contention for the finals, but the first 16 weeks or whatever has just been built up for State of Origin, and that's it.
And look, from a fan's point of view, it's gone way too long. All we've been talking about is the fighting.
Yep.
All we've spoken about after game one was about Paul Gallen and his punches, then the subsequent, changing of the rules. And then leading up into game two, all we talk about is there going to be another fight? How much these teams hate each other. And then we had the fight again in game two. And then all we've been talking about after game two is the referees went too far. They sent 4 players off. How much coverage have we actually given to how awesome New South Wales came out in game one and absolutely dominated Queensland? And then vice versa, how much coverage have we given to Queensland and how awesome they played in game two? Hardly seen any coverage of that.
I suppose the theatrics hasn't been as evident as it has been in previous years. We haven't pulled out the rats and filth line this year, which is really strange. Mal Meninga, he's spending too much time behind the bar, I think.
Give it time. He's still got tomorrow.
Okay. Let's go to tomorrow. Let's go to the Origin 3 preview. It's being touted as the biggest game in history. I'm sure the television audience will reflect that. No doubt the atmosphere at the game will be second to none. How do you think the preparations of both teams have been? We've had a bit of laugh about the 4X Island and the Clive Palmer Resort. Do you think that's a little bit too relaxed? It does sound to me like not such a typical Queensland preparation. Maybe it's...
you know what? It can go either way. I mean, it's getting to the point of the season where the players are tired. Maybe they do need some time away just to recharge their batteries. I don't know. It's a tough one, because do you lose your focus being on an island playing golf and hitting golf balls into the ocean? Maybe you do, but that's what they've chosen, and I'm sure Mal's got a plan, and he knows what he's doing. And once he gets the players, they're in Sydney now, so I'm sure that they'll be thinking nothing other than the game. I mean, they've been together for 8 years. They know each other. They know each other's game from a preparation point of view. They just need to get out there and keep their emotions in check.
And conversely, New South Wales have had a torrid preparation. Even if you go back to Origin 1, all the controversy surrounding the likes of Blake Ferguson. You've got the injuries and all the discussion about moon boots. James Tarmow with his incident. We've had Jared Hayne injured. Paul Gallen injured. We've got a new captain. Very disrupted. Are they going to bind and pull out the unexpected?
Well, I think they can. I don't put any of that down to an excuse, because there's still 17 capable players. I think they have to believe that they can go out there and win it. I think they can. I think there's probably a little bit more pressure on Queensland than what they would want to admit to. It's a big game in New South Wales. The crowd can be a factor in this one. I think the preparation for this game would be better than what they had for game two. I think there'd be a lot of resentment towards someone like Blake Ferguson
Yep.
for what he did because he's not injured.
Yep.
It's just through his own stupidity.
Yep.
Jared Hayne, massive X factor. He's the
Yeah.
player that Queensland would fear most,
Yep.
and the player that New South Wales will miss the most. So I think from that point of view, not having him there and McManus on the wing doesn't really put fear in the hearts of anyone north of the border.
So you
and
look at
Barraville.
you look at Queensland's left. You look at Queensland's left-hand side, and that's where about 65% of their origin tries come from. You've got the Thurston, Inglis, Darius Boyd. Do you think our right-hand side with say Morrison, now McManus, playing on the fringes, on the edges, they'll be able to handle that?
I think Morris, yes. McManus, I'm not sure about. I know there's some rating that Laurie Daly was talking about that he's the most effective winger in the competition at the moment. But when he played a few years back, he was diabolical. He should have had his passport stamped to never play for New South Wales again. He's back. I don't know that he would have been my first choice. They're going to test him out.
Yep.
So how he responds to the high ball and turn and chase and stuff like that,
You can add David Williams and Waite,
Yeah.
Kilo Waite to that list. But
I don't know how George Tafour didn't get a look.
and Nathan Merritt.
yeah, Nathan Merritt. Oh, which
Spewing he missed out.
a lot of people say George Tafour should have been there. Look, to me, I think it comes down to the mindset. In the first game at home, New South Wales absolutely had to win. Otherwise, series gone.
Yeah.
So they had that mindset and they had the desperation in their play, and they came out firing.
Yep.
You go to game 2, and Queensland, a proud team, 7 years in a row, they weren't going to relinquish that game no matter what.
Yep.
And their mindset was such that the desperation came out and they played accordingly. Now, you go to game 3, and you've got a team that's a proud, probably the best Queensland team of all time, versus a team that's lost 7 in a row and are desperate to actually overturn that. How do you think the respective mindsets of the teams will sort of play out, especially, and everyone's talking about the first 15 minutes, Mick, how do you think those first 15 minutes, the crucial part of the game will play out?
I think they've got to go into the game just playing it as an individual game, not looking at what a legacy is sitting behind them and potentially what's at stake. They just have to go out there and play what's in front of them. I'm not sure about Fifita starting. I think he's more effective off the bench.
Well, the rumour is he will start off the bench.
Okay.
They
I think that was
Paul Gallen this morning, and he actually said
right.
that
That I wasn't aware of. So
yeah.
it's going to be up to the forwards to lay the platform. I think New South Wales has a better forward pack. Queensland have us in the backs, but if the forwards dominate, then you can nullify the backs and not give the halves much time and much room to move. So I think from that point of view, if Farah can get out of dummy half and keep the Queensland line on their back heel, then you get those big blokes going. And Luke Lewis and Greg Bird, with their experience, are going to be the key for New South Wales in the opening 15 minutes.
And we hope that Greg Bird is fully fit and he's overcome those leg injuries. Those first 15 or 20 minutes, Queensland are incredibly good at getting to their kicks and getting their kicks to land on the ground, and their kick chase is immaculate. I guess the same sort of game plan.
Well, that was missing from game 1. That was really missing from game 1. I think the only thing Queensland have to worry about is if there's ever been an opportunity for New South Wales to go into that siege mentality, us versus them. This is the platform for it.
Yeah.
Queensland just have to go out there and give as good as they get, because they'll get hammered by the crowd, and as we saw in game 2, the crowd is massive. So I think Queensland just have to take that simple game plan of kick, field position, bide the time. I've got a feeling that this year's series isn't going to be decided by the players. I think it's going to be decided by the refs, and it's going to be really unfortunate. It's just going to take one stupid call to change the momentum of the game.
Well, they've had a change in referees for this game, so whether that has an impact. And the interesting point was Queensland actually trained opposed sessions with
both
Matt
teams
referees.
have had NRL referees for their opposed sessions, and I think it's just that the team's trying to get a gauge on how the game's going to be refereed. You're not going to get that gauge until the night.
Yeah, it'll be a real pity. You've got a massive audience, and this is this is effectively the grand final. It'd be a pity if it was spoiled by a refereeing decision. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I think it'll be played, like we just said, as like a grand final. It'll be an arm wrestle. The first 15 minutes won't be the same as the first 2 games. It'll be very close. it'll be completions, kick chase, wait for the
Percentage football,
mistake,
yeah.
percentage football. I think that's the way it'll be played. Well, given what we've just said, let's make some predictions. Firstly, let's start, Anthony, with obviously, how much will Queensland win by?
I'm going to go a point again.
I think New South Wales by about 12.
12, interesting. And I guess the first try scorer for those of us that like a bit of a punt. Who would you go for, Anthony?
I'm going to go Friday again.
First try scorer, nice.
Yep.
Mickey?
Jennings.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Look, for the record, I think New South Wales will be desperate, and I think the scars of the last 7 years will come. They've got a decider in New South Wales for a change, and I think that'll be a big factor in the way they play. I think they'll be more desperate. I think mentally, it's just going to come down to the team that just wants this more than anything else, and they play it accordingly. I think New South Wales will be just that little bit more desperate. Having said that, I think New South Wales by a point. I think Robbie Farah kicked the field goal and earned the man of the match. Nothing like a good Leb to captain the side. I think it'll come down to literally a field goal, and it'll be the last 5 minutes. Man of the match. I know Cameron Smith has won second most number of man of the match awards behind the King. Who gets it for you, Ants?
Look, how do you go past either 1, 6, 7, or 9? I'm going to go Hodges.
Wow.
I'm going to go Hodges.
So you're going 1, 6, 7, 9, and you're going for your 4.
Yeah.
Bluey?
I was thinking Andrew Fafita, but now he's coming off the bench. I'll change it to Robbie Farah.
Robbie Farah. Nice. Okay, well, boys, look, that's all we've got for now, and I thank you for your time and your valued opinions. May the best team win, and may that team be the Blues. Thank you, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.